Today we're going to be talking about Roblox wrestling. Yes, I know, some dumb shit. But it is something that's taken over my life for the past 2 to 3 years. I've lost count. It's a fun thing, with a toxic community, some great people in it, such as Shark, Mighty, Chris Kane, some other great names, and some questionable people like Anarchy X Chaos, what's his name, Cured, and some other things. But I don't like to get into that shit. It's not my problem at this point. So, what we're going to talk about is my career through RoWrestling and just overall what happened and how I see RoWrestling as a whole. Let's get into it. I started RoWrestling when I found the 2K18 by R2, I think. Yeah, it was fun, like classic sword fighting, but it was just different. I liked wrestling. I was getting back into it. I went by the name of I think I went by Zionic. So I had the theme of fucking what was it? Something by 1,000-Foot Krutch originally. It was 1,000-Foot Krutch. I want to say no, Dynamite wasn't it. It was fuck. It was something by 1,000-Foot Krutch. I could say that. Probably. Actually, let me check. Yes, it was 1,000-Foot Krutch, different kind of Dynamite. So I was not good. I was like renowned for being bad. And then I got to my first ever Fed. No. Fuck, it was RPFW, not RE. That will come later. RPFW. There, I met quite a few people, one of them being a guy named Corbin, who ended up becoming quite a legend, I think, in wrestling. But yeah, I was there for like a little while. I was quite known for just being a fucking shitter and dying, being a jobber, being horrible at everything. So I went back to 2K18 and I stopped going to the Fed because, you know, everyone was better than me. I wanted to get better before I did that shit. Then, a guy came on up to me, JJ Daniels, who I still talk to today. Hey, are you active in any Feds right now? I said no. He went up to me and then said, hey, yo, you should come to OCW. Join off of me and added me. Now, before that, I went to OCW, but before that, I went to a friend who I met in, 2K18, a guy named Nitro, what was it? Nitro Nathan? Something like that. It was Nitro something. I forget. Nitro Nate. Yes, Nitro Nate plays Roblox. That's what his name was. We became good friends. Hell, we did tag team shit all the time. We just clicked. So we both went to OCW. I did a Triple H gimmick called Triple B since my Roblox name is Batman. And I had a rivalry quickly against actually JJ, I think. I lost a lot. Me and Nitro, we tagged. We sucked horribly, and we broke our stable. Okay, we broke the tag team apart, went back to singles. This is when I debuted.
From here, survival is up to you. Choose your decisions wisely. Change starts with us. Remember, if you don't stand for something, you might fall for anything. Because the end is where we begin.
This gimmick. This is when Zion Fowler, the gimmick I play out today, still debuted in OCW, Online Championship Wrestling, the best fed fucking ever. This was what we call the Activite era of OCW, the start of it. That's what I call it at least, I don't know about anyone else. This is where we had a guy named Activate make some arenas. He's praised like a god today, at least by me. And this is fun. This is when we focused on fun instead of, you know, numbers and all that shit. We just tried enjoying ourselves. Things grew, and this is where I went from a low card jobber to a little bit of skill. let's get into part 2, the middle part of my career. I'd say my middle part of my career started when I got one of my first, well, not my first, well, yeah, my first or second title reign in OCW. At this point, I was only in OCW. I never went anywhere else because I didn't feel like it was the same as OCW. Like, I might go to a Fed once or twice, but it'd always be OCW I'd go back to. I was a child. I was like 14 at the time. Yeah. 14 or 15, I fucking lost count. I was a little bitch, and I kept saying, I'ma quit, leave the server, come back. I had a lot of computer issues. But I won the OCW Genesis Championship. I forget who I beat for it. I think I beat fucking Anarchy in a cleans match. I think. I don't know. I was so happy. It was my first ever title reign. I had it for 2 weeks. And then I dropped it to a guy named Commander. I still talk to him today. He's very not funny, but he tries to be. Yeah, I still hate him for that. But still, I think I proved myself there, that I do have what it takes to, I do have the potential. And I know Wolfel saw that potential, because he tried pushing me, but every time he tried, I would fail, I'd choke. Like, I had this match against Deca once at a pay-per-view. It was 2-0, and this, like, if you die 3 times, you lose. I had 2 kills over him, 1 more kill, and I win, and then I choked so hard, 3-2, angry, and I lost. So, then came Anarchy. Anarchy's a little bit of a controversial subject, because I was good friends with him for a while, then he did some questionable actions, but we're not going to get into that. But what I did is I beat him. He was like a big name. If you beat him, you either on the high card or mid, like the mix between high and mid card. I beat him not once, but twice. That's what I remember in hardcore matches. I beat him for the hardcore championship, and I held that shit for a good while. I forget who I dropped it to, because I dropped it quite quickly. I never hold titles quickly. I have them for a while, then I lose them. That's why I think winning the title and how you win it matters. The title reign at this point, for me, is never going to go well. I'm never going to defend. I've never defended a title, actually. Not once in my career have I defended one. That's sad. Then came the Championship Rumble. I won the I entered at number 30, and it was me and the founder of OCW, a guy named Dr. Glitching. And I may have, they didn't want him to win, so they may have cheated and thrown him out. I won the Universal Championship in the end. I held it for a week until I dropped it to a guy named Purity, I think. So then came my beautiful, beautiful title reign as hardcore again after I beat Nitro, my old friend, for it. We're still friends, we still talk today. His name isn't Nitro anymore, it's Nathan, but still. Now comes to my favorite part of my career. My FTW title reign. Think of this. I was not booked for a show. I was expecting, okay, I don't need to be booked, it's a pay-per-view, I think. No, it was a pay-per-view. Stamps, who is a guy who's been in the company for a while, who's being built up as a star. Diz, who everybody hated at the time, I think. Well, at least I hated, and I still do. Chicken. The guy who's been in the studio for a long time and is quite good. In a TD match for the new FTW Championship, which is a hardcore championship in OCW. And it's one of the biggest titles you can get. I was just watching. Chicken dropped out of the match because he had 1 point. Stamps had 3 points. It was the first to 4, I believe, and Diz had 0. So one more fall and Stamps went on. Chicken said, "Fuck this, I'm out." But Wolfel did not want to have Stamps beat. Diz sucks, so he didn't want it to be a sweep. So he brought me in. This is what built me as a star, which made me slightly legend, because I came in, Stamps only had to beat me once, meaning I was at a severe disadvantage. I won that match and became FTW champion. Fuck, I can't speak English apparently. That kind of buried Stamps for a while, but it built me up quite a bit, and I kind of needed that. I needed that ego boost. I dropped it to a guy named Deathmatch Jesus, and I tried to rematch it and lost again. Then I think he dropped. I forget who. I think he dropped it or not. All I remember is this led up to a 4-way match at OCW Hardcore Mania. Me, Deathmatch Jesus, Anarchy, who held the title first, and a Chris Benoit gimmick. I forget who won it. The Chris Benoit gimmick ended up winning. I didn't really stand a chance. But at the end of the show, there was a surprise ceremony. A surprise last Hall of Fame guy. Wolfo knew I was retiring soon. And so, he surprised me by dropping me into the Hall of Fame. I thought it was going to be a guy named Chris, the guy named Chris, because he's so fucking good, he's done so much, he's actually has a skill. But no, I'm in the Hall of Fame. Like, I did not expect this shit. This was completely unexpected. Like, I expected, okay, Mania, done, I might return a few times and get inducted, but no. Nah. I got inducted at the WrestleMania of OCW. Hardcore Mania, like, bruh. That shit just, I did not expect that. I was full on crying at that moment. After that, well, that came the end of my career. So, let's get into that, shall we? The end of my career. Okay. My career never really ended, but it's going down that path currently, where I'm a part-timer pretty much. OCW is essentially over at this point. Nothing ever happens in it. It's dead. It's gonna end after a couple shows soon. The Fed itself isn't dead. It's just no shows happen. The chat is still very alive, but nobody actually wrestles because the shows are never a thing because Wolfshark is too busy going to college and running REFW. So REFW is pretty much my OCW replacement. It's a Fed where it's pretty much a Fed that Wolfle took under his wing and made it hella fucking good, as he does. I go there every now and then. I don't know if they have their last show coming up now, and then the Fed's over, and OCW, and that same thing's gonna happen to OCW soon. But you see, there's a few things. Because of my status in OCW, and after I had this good staff job at a place called Ultimate Pro Wrestling, UPW, after that thing ended, a lot of people kind of reached out to me, wanted me to work for them, because I'm not good when it comes to staff overall, but I'm good when it comes to quote-unquote Discord mod. Yeah, I'm a good Discord mod. Send me nudes. I'm kidding. But people apparently see me as a good staff. I have good ideas, I handle situations quite decently. Here, I have my flaws here and there. I don't have many skills, but I don't know why. I'm now going to Feds. Voice crack, sorry, it is 4 a.m. I woke up at 1 a.m., don't judge me. I now go to the Feds, known as NYX, owned by Stamps. I plan to keep going to OCW and the last show for RFW by Wolfshark. And there's a surprise coming up. I'm not allowed to say it, but I have to keep it under the radar. But there is a surprise coming up. Keep an eye on my Twitter feed to find out what that is. At NameXNight2 is my Twitter. Or if you're too lazy, just go to my channel banner and click the Twitter icon. Well, this is essentially my TED Talk. OCW is a fun place. Pro wrestling in general is great if you can avoid that toxic community. Learn that it's not about winning, it's about enjoying yourself and, well, getting the crowd hyped. And just entertaining people and entertaining yourself. That is what pro wrestling's for. That is what video games are for. That's what I like to see pro wrestling as, at least. not something you want to win in, it's something you want to have fun in. That's what a game is. Winning doesn't fucking matter. Of course, it's not fun to lose. If you lose constantly, you kind of lose motivation, because what's the point of playing a game if you know the outcome and you don't enjoy the outcome? That is kind of the issue with games, I guess. You could not an issue, just a thing about it. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my journey of RoWrestling. If you want to see more videos like this where I describe shit that I do, like the video, subscribe down below, and yeah.